Hi all, welcome to Coach Monken's weekly press conference. This week we are previewing our matchup at number 14, Cincinnati. So Coach, if you can open us up with an opening statement, and then we'll open it up to questions.
Good afternoon. We're excited about the opportunity we've got this weekend to play against a great football team. Very well coached and certainly has the respect of the college football world. They've been one of the best teams in the country here in recent years, and can't say enough for the job that Coach Fickle's done. He's an outstanding coach, has a great staff, a veteran staff, and they have a big, athletic, and fast football team. They're really an impressive group, and it's going to take our very best effort if we're going to have a chance to win. So our guys are practicing hard. It's been nice to have an extra week. We really kind of set our sights on Cincinnati when the game against BYU was postponed. We were hopeful that we could get another game rescheduled, but when that didn't work out, really gave us the opportunity to dive into the game plan for Cincinnati, and it's going to take the rest of this week and our very best effort, as I said, if we're going to have a chance.
We'll open up with questions. We'll start with Rich DeMarco.
Hey, Coach, just what type of opportunity does Saturday present for your program?
I think anytime we have the opportunity to play a ranked team, and we've had that opportunity several times, it's an opportunity for us to test ourselves against one of the best teams in college football, which they are. The back-to-back 11-win seasons is really impressive. They've got some big wins over Power 5 teams, and I mean they're just an impressive football team. I was talking to another coach in their league, and just he was mentioning the body types that they have, just the guys they have on their team, how long and it allows them to have guys, tight end type guys, outside linebacker types that are really long. They run good, and it helps them on special teams. And those guys have position flexibility, and it's really just going to be a tremendous challenge for us. And to play a team of this caliber with the respect that they have around the college football world, if we could find a way to win the football game, be a huge victory for us.
And, Coach, with no game this past weekend, how has that affected your team's health? Any guys expected back? Any changes on that front?
I hope so. I don't know that there's going to be a lot of roster changes, or we're in a whole different place this coming weekend than we were 2 weeks ago. In fact, there's a couple of guys that got nicked up in that game that we're not sure about, and some guys that have gotten injured in practice that are still question marks. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed, and hopefully we'll be as healthy as we were in the last one. And there's still some guys that we'd like to get all the way back to being healthy enough that they can play in football games. And there's some of those guys that aren't there yet.
Thanks, Coach.
Next question from Charles Grievous.
Good afternoon, Coach. As you mentioned in your opening statement, the Bearcats are a very athletic squad and with notable speed across the board. However, many observers are saying some of the same things about this year's Army team. That being said, would you consider this to be the most athletic or one of the most athletic Army teams under your leadership? And if so, does that allow you to be more creative on both sides of the ball, perhaps more than previous years?
Charles, I don't know if I would be able to say that this is the most athletic team we've had or the fastest team we've had. I think we've got some good athletes, and we've got some fast guys on our team. But I think just comparatively speaking, with the team we're getting ready to play this weekend, I don't know that on paper it's a great matchup. I mean, they have a 2 deep listed, and they provided that to us. And I mean, they're 10 offensive linemen, all 5 starters and all 5 backups are all 300 pounds. And they got one guy that's 6'9". They got a guy, that 6'5", 330 pounds or something like that. I mean, gosh, it's just enormous. And then they've got a bunch of tight end type bodies, as I mentioned. that really give them a lot of versatility, and they play in different places on the offense, and they've got a host of running backs. When you have a two deep and they list 4 running backs, you know they got some guys that they feel pretty good about. And then defensively, just Coach Fickle's a defensive coach, and so his influence on the program, the toughness and the physical style of play all comes from him, and they really play great defense, and they have some experience against this offense, which I wish they'd never seen it before and didn't have any idea how to defend it, but he's a good coach, and they've got players on their team that played against this offense in the past, so it's going to be a real challenge. They've got a good team, an athletic team, and I wouldn't dare try to compare our team to theirs. But we've had some guys in the past that have graduated that I think have been pretty athletic and pretty good players here, and I think we've got some guys on our team this year and guys that have developed and grown up through the program that are really starting to become the players and the athletes that we hope they would. So I like our team. I like our team a lot. I love their attitude and their effort, but I think we've got an athletic enough team and a fast enough team to be able to do the things we're asking them to do on both sides of the ball and in the kicking game.
And my follow-up and final question, this is the first opportunity for both yourself and Cincinnati to face another ranked opponent. From your perspective, is there any additional or heightened emotions or anxiety that you believe your team will be feeling come Saturday, particularly after you were off or postponed last Saturday?
Oh, I don't know if we could. I don't know if we could be put into a more exciting position in week 3, or I guess this is week 4 in our 3rd game, than to play a team of Cincinnati's caliber. And the national rankings came out several times in several different publications, from all the way from last January, where they put out the way too early top 25, and all the way up till this week. They're mentioned in every single one of those. There's not one that I could find where Cincinnati wasn't ranked. So this is an outstanding football team, and one that we're going to have to be really prepared for and play extremely well to even be positioned to win the football game. So it's an exciting opportunity for our players, and certainly to have a matchup like this on national TV is a great opportunity for us to showcase West Point, this great institution, and our program.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Another question from Rich DeMarco.
Jeff, the fullback position, how confident are you now a couple of weeks into the year? Obviously, Sandin, 3 touchdowns the first week. Jacoby, the 100-yard game, 2 touchdowns. I know that's such an important position. How do you feel about it 2 weeks in?
I'm happy with all 4 of those guys. I think they're all playing really well, and I think Sandin, having the most experience, certainly gives us the most versatility just in all the different things that we do on offense and what we ask those guys to do. It's a position that is more than just running the football. They've got a lot of responsibilities in the running game and in the passing game, and so I think all 4 of them are very capable. And I think Anthony Adkins, who probably, as we went through camp, was a little bit farther out of the pack from those guys, has really closed that gap. He's just practiced so well the last 3 weeks and gotten a chance to play. And when they get into games, those guys get more confident. And I think certainly he has. And we've gotten more confident in him. So really pleased with all 4 of those guys. And I think we'll continue to play all of them like we have been.
Great. Thanks, Coach.
Questions from Ken McMillan.
Hi, Jeff. Is Cincinnati similar to Ohio State, Oklahoma, and Michigan of recent years? And if so, philosophically and strategically, how do you game plan to beat these types of physical teams?
They're very similar to the Power 5 teams we've played, just in their size, their speed, and how well prepared they are. They do a great job with their program. Luke he's turned that into a big time football program, and they're very impressive. To game plan for any opponent, it doesn't change. Our game plan thoughts don't vary based on the conference that the team we're playing comes from. It's purely on our guys, what we think our players can execute against the team that we're facing, whether that be their offense, what things we want to do defensively to try to attack them, or it being our offense and looking at the defense we're going to play and how we want to attack that defense. So it's far less about what conference they come from than it is just who they are and what we think they're going to do with their schemes.
Jeff, you've been mixing in a lot of young players. Is this on par with recent seasons? And what are the short and long-term impacts?
We've had a chance to play some guys, and we've been fortunate the first couple of weeks that we've been able to build a lead in the second half that gave us the ability to do that. And I think it's great to be able to get those guys experience. I think the experience pays off not only for games coming up this year, perhaps this weekend or games to follow, but certainly for seasons to follow. And the more experience they get, I think the more prepared they're going to feel, the more confident they will be. In 2015, we only won 2 games, but we played a lot of freshmen and more out of necessity than we did out of just the desire to put them in the game and get them experience. That wasn't a great formula for winning games that year. We were very young and obviously inexperienced and outmatched physically, but it paid off in the years to follow. And a lot of those guys that played as freshmen then started or played a significant role the next 3 years. We won 29 games. So I think there's a payoff probably into the future that's going to come from this. At least I hope. And I think we've got some good young players that are making a contribution. There's obviously some guys that have already made some plays for us that have impacted the game, and I think those guys will continue to improve the more they play. But being able to get the other guys in is something we want to do, and perhaps we'll find a guy that we weren't sure about, or just get him experience for when we need him down the road.
Thanks, Jeff.
Any further questions for Coach?
Jeff, if I may, can you offer a few words about Marquel Broughton and what he's brought to the team this year?
I think Marquel is a tremendous leader. That's recognized not just by me, but I think everybody in our program, our coaches and players, see him as a leader. He's super positive. He has just a deep sense of pride in being a part of this team and in being the best he can for everybody else on this team. And I like him a whole lot as a person. He's a tremendously hard worker, works in the weight room and the individual drills in the classroom, on special teams. He just does everything he can to contribute, and he's a good player. He's a talented player. So I'm excited he's here, and it's nice to have a guy like that that's right now playing so well and making so many plays. It's only a sophomore.
He seems really grateful to be here at West Point.
I'm really grateful to be here too. The people line up from here to New York City to take my place, so I'm really glad to be here too.
Jeff, how did you spend your, I'll call it an off week, but did you give yourself a break at all?
Myself, personally?
Yeah.
Yeah. I went home We had a little scrimmage on Saturday morning. I went home on Saturday afternoon and hung out with my family, which was fantastic. On Sunday, I went to church, and then in the afternoon, my oldest daughter took the whole family out to this waterfall on the other side of the river over in Cold Spring, which was really pretty and nice to just be outside and spend some time with the family. So, yeah, I took a little bit of a break. Don't get that very often in the season, but I really enjoyed it. It was fun to be able to spend some time with my kids and my family, my wife, and my parents who are in town.
How important is it for you and your coaches to get a break like that?
Everybody needs a break. Players need one, coaches need one, everybody does. It helps us. I think it just helps you recharge your batteries and refocus because it can become a grind, and coaching is that way. We spend an inordinate amount of time at our jobs and early mornings and late nights and recruiting, and it can be very consuming. And our families, my wife and my kids deserve to get some time with me as a family. And I said to some other coaches that other head coaches that I talked to, I said, my wife and kids might not care if I'm around, but I sure like being around them. So it's nice to get a little time with them. And it just, a weekend like that just gets you, I think, excited to get back in the office and get back to work.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, everybody, for calling in.